All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this one, I wanted to discuss with you how the way that you view money and your personal relationship with money is one of the most crucial things to master and to consider when you're wondering why it might be that you are not growing your business or your career to the level that you want it to be. And I want to discuss, first of all, the relationship between our personal psychology and money, and what that relationship should look like if you desire to grow your business or your career, whether you're in business or even you're just a small freelancer on the side and you're totally content with $4,000 or $5,000 a month, but you really just would love to add another two or three onto that, or whether you're at my level, where you're on pace to do $1 million a year and you have the goal of doing $1 million a month. How you sort of make those transitions, first of all, psychologically, and then how to allow those psychological transitions to sort of, for lack of a better term, manifest themselves in your business. Because I believe that our world around us is created first by our perspective and our mentality and our emotions and our worldview, and then we enact that into our environment. So I want to explain why that is, why the way you view money is more than likely the primary causal variable that is keeping you from growing to the level that you want to get to, and how to master it. So there's a lot to cover in this video. And, I do want to say that, this is a topic that I've studied aggressively over the past, 2.5 years of being an entrepreneur. And so one of the things that I'm extending to you in this video is actually an interesting little sort of a call to action. I want you to message me on Instagram. And if you are struggling with this specific problem, share with me, make a case of where you're at. If you're at 10,000 a month and you're wanting to get to 30, if you're at just blank and you're wanting to get your first client, or whatever it is, if you're at 100,000 a month and you're wanting to get to 400, whatever it is, I want to gift you with some of my favorite books on me. So I'm going to pick the next 15 people that I really, really like. I see their story, I'm seeing where they're at, and I'm going to pick you up my top 3 favorite books on this topic that have helped me. So go ahead and message me on Instagram, and I'll get back to you there. The link's in the description to my Instagram. You can also join our Facebook group and post there as well. So an interesting call to action, just kind of a way to give back, and I'd love to meet some people, some other business owners, and help you guys out. So that being said, let's get into the video. One of the lessons that I observed when I started to invest into, let's say, like higher tier programs, mastermind groups, where the average person in the room was making, $3 million a year or something. These are the communities that I've been able to surround myself with. When you start to stack some cash from your own business ventures, you can invest into groups to be a part of and learn from other people. And I found that, a common theme that I've seen is that people at a certain level, once they pass really that $1 million a year level, money changes. It changes, the way that you view money changes. The way that you think changes regarding money. And what do I mean by this? Well, I'll say this. When you believe that money is scarce, it becomes scarce to you. When you believe that money is hard to earn, it becomes hard to earn. And this is such an unfortunate thing, in this COVID environment where, people are being told left and right that, there's only so many jobs to go around, and there's only so much money to go around. And the media, the government, whoever it is doing a really good job at making people feel insecure financially. But in my circles, in my group, we're all thriving. And why is that? Well, it has something to do, again, with how you view money. If you see it as scarce, it becomes scarce. If you see it as abundant, it becomes abundant. It's not the other way around. It's not if you're written a check for $1 million, you all of a sudden feel abundant. Jim Rohn has a great quote. He says, if you win the lottery, you win $1 million in the lottery, well, you best become a millionaire quickly, otherwise you'll lose the money. And what he means by that is there's a certain way of thinking about money. There's a certain way of seeing money. And there's a couple principles that you can see money through. There's a couple lenses that you can see money through. The first one is that there's money everywhere. And if you just open your eyes and see it, there's money everywhere. There's business to be done with anyone and everyone. There's exchanges to be made with any business or any enterprise or any individual that benefits both parties. And that's how economies work. That's how wealth is created. We didn't start off, the United States, for example, we didn't start off with a couple $1 trillion and just threw it out into the market and let it play. No, we started off with just small trades, farmers trading cattle for wheat. And then slowly but surely, in every trade, both parties are lifted, which is how we create economic and global wealth. It's just a slow, steady trade upward. And this is how the standard of living rises in economies as well. This is why the economy is so important. It's why the only thing that I look for really when I'm making, voting decisions or when I'm looking for what to support politically, even though I, for the most part, stay out of it. So the first thing is to recognize that money is abundant and that every time you trade with someone, you're both better off. There's this idea that when somebody has sold something, the guy buying has lost something. That the guy buying what they're being sold has lost their money. They've lost something. But reality is, unless there's some sort of a scam or some sort of unethical practice going on, which will be found out because that's how the free market works. They always call out scammy practices. They always do. And you can see this with, for example, I saw this video. It went viral on Reddit because I'm on Reddit just for a half hour every week just for no reason. And it had this video there about deodorant. And it talked about how the deodorant packaging makes it look like there's more deodorant than there is in there. And so some guy took the liberty, literally, of buying $100 worth of the most popular deodorants and telling you which one you're getting the most value for your money's worth. That's the free market at work. This is how people work. They do not want less than what they're paying for. So it requires people with something to sell to make it honestly 10 times more valuable than what the customer's paying for. Otherwise, they're going to be out of business. So that's the first thing. Understand that when a transaction happens, both parties are lifted. There's not one loser or one winner. That's what gambling is. Gambling is there's one loser, one winner. And this is also why, for those of you who know, I'm a Christian. And biblically, gambling is considered a sinful activity. It's not because, you're not allowed to do what you want with your money. It's because it separates people. One person wins, one person loses, right? And then there's this separation. There's this division of humanity when you gamble. When you say, all right, I'll put $1,000 in, you put $1,000 in, let's roll this dice and see who gets to keep two. That's one winner, one loser. It's the worst way to make money. The best way to make money is to bring value to the market. So that's the first thing. You got to see money through that lens. The second lens is that you will never have more in your bank account than you deserve. There's this idea of we look at people, we look at celebrities, or we look at people who have a lot of money, and we always say, oh, they're so stupid, they're so idiotic in public, why do they deserve all that money? Or we look at NFL superstars or something, wait, all they do is just tackle people. Why do they have $6 million in the bank and, a super yacht or something? But the reality is the market decides who gets the money. We don't pay people based on their virtues. We don't pay people for being nice. We pay people because they have something that we want. NFL superstars, they're entertaining millions of people. Millions of people are chipping in $1 or $2 or $3 to watch these people, whether it's in the form of commercials on TV that they're watching in between plays, or it's in the form of buying tickets to go to the game, or it's in the form of buying merchandising like your favorite team's hat or jacket, or buying, films to go watch documentaries about certain players, or just all the different services and entertainment that they create off of these players. They're bringing a lot of value to the market. So of course they're going to make a lot of money. So you got to understand, you will never have more in your bank than you deserve. If right now you have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 and you're like, man, why don't I have 10? That's because you don't deserve 10. It's because you haven't brought $10,000 worth of value. And it's a harsh reality. It's not fun to hear. But it has nothing to do with how valued you are as a human being in the eyes of God, to your family, to your friends, to your neighbors, to your local surroundings, to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, your kids, whatever. It's purely a reflection of how valuable you are to the marketplace. There's different forms of value, right? I think I've said that before, and people say, well, Trey, you're not just valued by what's in the bank. And of course you're not. There are so many more ways where somebody is valuable. And frankly, I've found that I actually make less money when I am valuing myself purely by how much is in the bank. I make way more money, and I have a better time, and I enjoy my business more, and I enjoy my work more when I am detached completely from money. And I just let it happen. I let it flow in, and I enjoy having money, but frankly, I would do this for free, and that's the mentality that pushed me, to where I'm at today. So that's the next thing. You'll never have more in your bank than you deserve. The next point is recognizing, the environment that you grew up in and what beliefs you were handed regarding money. For example, in America, couponing is an extremely popular hobby. And I'm not saying that anybody who coupons is like a lesser human being. I'm not doing I think people take this the wrong way all the time. So I'm clarifying first and foremost about this. But if you are a habitual saver, if you are trying to cut, 10 cents off the dollar wherever you spend, and you're trying to save an extra $10 a month on bills, and you are trying to just cut and save, and that is the biggest lie that Americans have been handed, is that they can save their way to wealth. This is the Dave Ramsey, way of thinking. This is the, common financial, strategy, which is, hey, if you make $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and you're spending, $2,500 of on bills, if you can take, $400 off of your bills, and you're pretty much making an extra $400 a month, and who knows what you could do with that? You can invest it, but the amount of energy that you will extend trying to cut and save and churn different ways of spending, if you apply that same amount of energy to bringing more value to the market, you will make 10 times the amount of extra money than you will make by saving or by cutting expenses. So this is another huge lie, and I'm attacking this straight on. I am generally a frugal guy, right? And it's funny that I say this because this watch costs $17,000. I've got two on my desk that I keep right here on a stand that my girlfriend got me with my favorite word actually engraved in it. It's a Hebrew word. It's pronounced shefa, and it actually means abundance. It's the Hebrew word for abundance. But I'm a frugal guy. I can afford these in cash, and they don't affect me. I'm not overextending myself to spend the amount of money that I spend on rent, which is about $2,700 a month for this spot right here. It's not that much money. It's probably a tiny, really, the amount of rent that I spend is like a quarter of a sale a month, for one of our higher tier programs, for example. So you got to start seeing things through this lens. You got to start seeing things not as, I can't afford it, but how can I afford it? And this is why I like material goals. This is why I'm not afraid of having material goals, watches or cars or apartments or things like that. It's because it forces you to accept that state of abundance. It forces you to just fall into that state of, I can make as much as I want as long as I just find a creative way to serve the marketplace. At which point, the only bottleneck on my earnings is how many people know about my services and how good we are at selling them, and whether people want to come back for more or not. Instead of, that's such a better place to be, as opposed to how much can we save off of this month's spend? How much can we cut? And I see so many families or people, individuals with that mentality. And it's frustrating to me because, they see it as almost a virtuous activity. And I see no virtue in saving. I see virtue in building a business. I see virtue in investing. I see virtue in not blowing all your cash on something stupid, for sure. I don't plan on doing that. But I don't see virtue in finding creative ways to save another $400, $500 a month. I just don't. Because the amount of energy that I spend doing that, I can spend bringing more value to our clients, building our business. And keep in mind, guys, I was not handed this. I built my business from scratch. Total zero. So you can't tell me that I was just given this thought process, right? I've seen, horrible things happen to other people, competitors of mine, because they get the wrong mentality. They're down, they lose it takes 4 months. It takes 3 or 4 months of the wrong mentality for anybody in my industry to just be gone. So those are some things to take away regarding how to view money. And I'll be honest with you, how you view money dictates the amount of money in your bank account. Your relationship with money is the single most important thing you can study when it comes to growing your business. I would say that, then mastering your emotions and like your mentality, and then how you handle people. How you handle people, your relationship with money, and your emotions. Those are the three areas to focus in and master if you really want to grow your business. If you're stuck at zero, look at how you were raised, or look at the people you surround yourself with. If the people you're surrounded with don't have any more than $1,000 in the bank, which I think it's like something like 70% of Americans never have more than $1,000 in their bank, like, which is insane to me, but that's just how it works. It's because we've been fed this lie. You need to have credit cards so that you can, spend money that you don't have, and you need to find a good job because the job is the only way to make money, obviously. And, if you have a job, look at how much you earn from that job and be super frugal with that money because, frugality is a virtue and you got to be humble. Be humble because if you have a lot of money and you're spending a lot of money, you're arrogant and you are not a good person and you're selfish. I mean, these are the messages that we're told. I mean, the education system just drills this into people. I've got friends that, I used to kind of hang around and we had a similar view of money, and then they go off like to college or something for like some bullcrap art degree or something. And then they come back like, giving me advice that was not warranted. They're so like, Trey, you got to be careful. Don't be arrogant. Don't be, you can't be prideful, Trey. And, I like to think I do a good job at checking myself. And I genuinely, I obviously I'm 21. You're going to struggle with arrogance and pride. 21 years old. Hard to combat. But I don't think it's money that makes somebody arrogant or prideful. I think there's more to it than that. And I think as a culture, we've demonized wealth. So anyway, just some thoughts. Not necessarily any pointed thought at the end of this video. But this is one of the things that we tackle for our clients. We attack this idea head on that they are lesser of a human for desiring more for themselves. Wealth is not like a cake. And I'll end it with this. This is something that I learned from a mentor of mine. Wealth isn't like a cake. Wealth is like candlelight. It's like I can bend over and light somebody else's candle and literally ignite their flame in the exact same industry as me. This is how the world really works. Build their business, make a competitor, quote unquote. But we're both better off because of it. I'll have people join our programs and say, Trey, I just want to do what you do. They're like, I love that you help people start and grow businesses and you consult them and you get them results and you have an impactful thing. And I want to do that. And I literally want to do it in the exact same niche that you're in. I'm like, great, come in. Let me help you. I've helped a lot of people start doing what I'm doing. But I don't care. It's not, I don't see it as losing money. I see it as expanding the market for more people to be indoctrinated into this stuff. And everybody's better off because of that. So hopefully this video makes sense. I can bend over, light somebody else's candle. Their flame can burn as hot and as long as mine without taking any flame from my candle. Wealth is not like a cake where somebody takes a slice and then there's less for everyone else. That's how the world wants you to view money. It wants you to see money as this cake and this pile that, you got to grab at it and get as much as you can, and there's less for others when you grab at it. But that's not how it works. Because unless you are making money and then just keeping it in your bank account and never spending it, which nobody does, by the way, there's no evidence statistically that any wealthy individual makes money and just stores it away for no reason. That's like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, but that's a fictional character that doesn't exist. Nobody does that. Like Bezos spends tons of money. I mean, they've been a break-even company for years. They're spending so much money on infrastructure, which is serving so many businesses that are providing the infrastructure, which is building the economy, and people don't see it that way. They see it as, he's got a bunch of money and he's just hoarding wealth because every time somebody buys something on Amazon, he makes a piece of that and then he just gets to store it away under his mattress or something. Like, that's how people see it, but that's the wrong way of seeing it. So, how you view money is one of the most critical elements in growing your business. Let go of the idea that money is scarce and you'll find that you'll make more money. You got to understand that there's nothing to overcome. You don't have to work on this. You don't have to drill at this. You just have to let go of the idea that money is scarce and lean into and just relax into the role of seeing money as abundant and realizing that, $1 million a year business is not hard to run. Like, it's just not. And I don't know if that sounds arrogant or cocky. I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm hitting it with some tact. The idea that, netting $1 million in a business on a yearly basis is not a hard feat. It means having a solid niche, a solid offer, and a good prospecting and sales process. That's all you need. And that's, what the 2 millionaires that we've created inside of our programs, I kept it extremely simple for them. And that's what they went on to achieve. One offer, one niche, one prospecting process. So I'll end it with this. If you're ready to get some help, if you want to smash these mental limiting beliefs inside of our programs, these are one of the main things that we focus on. Of course, we've got all the tactical, but there's only so much tactical I can give somebody. Once you've built your offer, we help you build one for $3,000 to $10,000 for your niche, whether it's a B2B consulting or B2C consulting, whatever it is. We'll look at your offer, build it with you. We'll build you some prospecting systems alongside you. Our worst clients, for example, Dylan joined us. He's never run a business before. And he's getting a sales call every single day, and he's looking a $10,000 a month in the face right now. And he's been with us for like a month and a half. So he's phenomenal. And if you want to be in a community of people that are building offers, selling them, bringing value to the market, that have this mindset that I've shared with you today regarding money and are on pace to run $1 million a year business themselves, schedule a call down below. The first link in the description, it will always be there in all of my videos because it's the most immediate way that I can help you and help move you up to that next level in your life and in your business. Look, there's never any pressure to make a decision on the call. We don't use any pressure tactics. We're looking for people that are where we need them to be in order for us to serve them, help them grow, help them succeed in whatever business it is that they're attempting to run. For the most part, we help agency owners, consultants, coaches, people with some sort of an offer, a once offer, a retainer style offer for educational services or marketing services or coaching services or whatever it might be like that. So schedule your call down below, fill out the form, and you'll be speaking with either myself or our community success manager, Brendan, who has been, one of the main reasons we've been able to get so many great results for our clients. So I figured it might even be better for me to put him on the calls than myself because he's doing a lot of interacting with our clients. And I feel like I'm more so marketing and pushing the message and keeping the revenue coming in for our business. So he's an incredible guy. Schedule your call down below. You've got two options. Go off your own way, never get help, never, try to figure this stuff out yourself. It could take you a year, 2 years, 3 years like it did myself. Or cut the learning curve, save time, and just get straight to the meat of how to do these things. Schedule your call down below, and I'll speak to you then. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.